Hello guys, what is up? This is Casadorperfect here once again, bringing you another Call of Duty Black Ops gameplay. It's been a while since I have uploaded any sort of video. It's been exactly 2 weeks, I believe. That's what YouTube said, and I decided to just go ahead and bring you a video of me playing Call of Duty. Hey, that's a surprise. Anyways, guys, as you can see, let me just go ahead and introduce this gameplay real quick, as this episode is gonna be a episode of story time with Casadorperfect. I'm playing free-for-all on Crisis using the Golden FAMAS with Dual Max, I believe, and obviously I am using the most overpowered gun in the entire game. That has to do with the connection issues that I never get host, so nothing goes well, so I just had to get my overpowered shit up, so that's why I was using this. But in any case, let's just go ahead and get started into the story time. The story of today is gonna be a very funny story actually that I experienced a few years ago. Of one of my cousins who actually fell down from a very gigantic tree and landed on his back right on the floor, and that's gonna be something that really hurts. So let me just go ahead and get started. Now, there was one day when I was visiting his house, and he was very curious about a nest that was just on the top of a tree. Now, the tree itself, it's very thick, very high, and very fragile at the end, at the top, I believe. And he was very curious about going into this tree or climbing this tree and just go ahead and check out on the birds, because there were newborn birds on top of the tree. There was also a nest with a gigantic bird too. I don't remember what kind of bird it was, but he was very curious about the whole thing. So what he decided to do was to talk to me and say, "Chris, will you mind giving me a hand to climb this tree?" And I was very curious about what he was talking about. Certainly he just wanted me to give him a lift so he can climb the tree very easily, because at the lowest part of the tree there were these kind of I don't know how to say them, spiky little parts which you cannot grab because that's gonna hurt your hands and feet as well. So I had to help him out. So I did the next thing. I just pull him out, I give him a lift with my hands, and up he goes. Slowly he just achieves what he wanted. He actually gets to the top. But what he didn't realize was that as soon as he got to the top, he realized that there are a lot of tree sticks which are very fragile, and this can break every moment, and he did not notice that. Now, obviously the nest of a bird is very close at the end of every freaking single bird, tree sticks. I'm sorry, I just fell right there. But and that is very dangerous. Birds actually do that on purpose so nobody can really get close to them very easy. They actually put their nest at the end of every single tree, like sticks at the end of those, most of the time at least. And this bird was very smart, so he did that. As my cousin just slowly gets to the top and just tried to go ahead and grab on the nest, because he really wanted to hold these little birds. But obviously, if you know a little bit about birds, and if you know that if the mother of the birds actually notice that you are very close to those small birds, you will be ruining a lot of fun of these two or small little birds, because most of the mothers, or at least most of the bird mothers, they actually leave the nest as soon as they realize there is somebody, or actually somebody touched their kids. So that just goes to show that nature is kind of weird. The mother actually leaves the bird. That's so stupid. But anyways, my cousin gets close to the birds, and he was right on this small stick of the tree. And as soon as he actually ends up coming to the end of the the tree sticks, everything started cracking up. And yeah, you know what I mean, cracking up. You hear this sound all the time, and you are very you're very suspicious about what's going to happen next, because one small move forward and you will definitely land on the ground with the nest of the birds as well. So you will actually be killing the birds, because they themselves cannot fly yet, because they are just too young to fly. And not only that, they are very fragile because they were just newborn birds. So my cousin, he was actually trying to pull, or to actually get a hold of these birds, because he really was curious about them. So he actually tried and went even further, because the tree already told him, do not go further, because everything is already cracking up and you will definitely land on the ground. But apparently he just didn't really realize that and just continues with his journey to get the birds. Now as soon as he gets to the end of the tree sticks, you hear crack, and then he goes all quiet, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm on the ground right now looking upwards and thinking, well, I think my cousin is gonna die next. As soon as he makes a move, he's definitely gonna be landing on the ground with his chest facing towards the ground and his face into the ground as well, or maybe his back. Whatever it might be, it's gonna hurt and it might probably just go ahead and kill him. So what I do next is I say to him very quietly, because when you know you're in danger, you never shout, you always talk very quietly. So I go like, hey, please do not move, this is going to break, you are going to get killed. And he replies back obviously with, I know, I cannot move now, what do I do next? But the thing is, it's so funny that we cannot help each other out at this point, because even though I actually wanted to get help, there was no way that anybody could help me, because there was not a staircase or whatever it might be, or ladder that you might use in order to get up there. There was just not one high enough for that. So I was actually thinking of a strategy, but I just couldn't figure out what to do. So what my cousin actually decided to was, well, I guess I know what to do now. I'm gonna move backwards, because if I go forward, I am definitely sure it's gonna break. Now my cousin decided to just go ahead and go backwards. Now what do you know next? The freaking tree sticks breaks down, he lands to the ground in slow motion. As you see, these kind of things, when you see them happening, I just got fucking bullshit petting knife right there. But most of the time that you see something like that happen, everything goes slow motion. You're like, hell no, this is going to happen, and it happens. And so my cousin landed on his back, and he was definitely gone for about I believe 1 month in the hospital, because he actually fractured his entire back and he just couldn't walk like that. So we were very happy that at least after 1 month he just could retaliate, or just regain his strength and everything, and just go back to streets, go back to walk, go back to school, go back to home, and everything was really alright. So what have you learned from this lesson, or at least what have I learned from this lesson? Do never try to actually get to the bird's nest as soon as they get born and they are at a very high place, in which you might end up killing yourself if you go that far. So guys, that was one of the story times with Casadorperfect. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, which wasn't really too interesting, but I really felt the need to tell this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave it a like, leave it a comment, and I'll be checking you guys later.